Well, we're going to wait and see if somebody shows up here in a minute. Nothing yet.
How are you?
Come out wherever you are. Ollie and come free. Okay, hey, we got one. All right, well, one is not the loneliest number. So, welcome aboard, and we're up to a couple of people. You folks are in for a real treat today. Good morning, and welcome to the Art of Fire glassblowing studio outside Laytonsville, Maryland, near Damascus and all other points in Maryland. I'm Bruce. I'll be holding the camera most of the day. I hope I don't have to lay it down, but I'm going to explain that part to you in a minute. If you notice the title on the episode today, we're calling it Flying by the Seat of Our Pants. So I'll have to explain to you that things are going to be a little bit different today. We're a couple of glass blowers short. Nothing to worry about. Todd is a little under the weather. He'll be back next week, so no concerns there. And Josh was unavoidably delayed. We're hoping he'll make it in, but if he doesn't, no sweat. You got me and Foster here. So we'll try to make this not look like a news conference with two old guys and hair dye dripping down their face. But we're gonna get through this one way or another. So we probably won't be doing all the pieces you saw advertised. In fact, I can just about guarantee that we won't, because some of the pieces are not ones that Foster and I have done in ages, if ever at all. But let's see. And that's another good reason for there's nothing on our live stream schedule to tell you what we're doing. Normally, everybody but me gets in the studio about 9 o'clock in the morning and starts prepping everything, and we get ready to roll. And all the colors are in the anneal are warming up, and all the tools are laid out. Today, we're operating at a little bit of a disadvantage there, but Foster and I have started getting things together, so we hope to entertain, educate, and amuse you. So let me just show you a little bit of what we have on display here. Anyway, we've got a lot of our ornaments. These in the front row here are numbered. Should you choose to order any of them, you can refer to the number that you see. So I'll go through those rather quickly. We've got number 1, a red twisted cane ornament. Number 2 is a multicolor frit. Number 3 has gold with a trail on it and a colorful background. 4 is a gold finish that is really beautiful, and it changes colors as it goes through the process. Number 5, same thing. Number 6 is a ball with frit on it. Number 7, another multicolored ball, a beautiful swirl ball here. Number 8, I believe you saw that last week. Number 9, one of our diamond optics with some red and green. 10 is a red and white ornament. We've got number 11, another diamond ball, and another diamond optic ball at 12. Here's what you may or may not see today, depending on how adventuresome Foster and I are. We were planning on the snowmen. If we don't get to them today, we'll get them next week. And also the little snow bunny here and the Christmas tree in the back. So Josh prepared all those pieces earlier in the week, and so he's not here with us right yet, so we'll see what we can do with what Foster and I have available. Remember, you can get the t-shirts still. We've got quite a few of those for sale. You can give gift certificates. Yes, Susie, Theta is here. Theta is, give her the shout out because she's the one that's going to hold it all together on the computer. So let's go on over and say hi to Foster. And we don't even know what we're going to do all the time yet. So lay it on us, buddy.
We'll figure it out as we go along, but we do know that we're going to start with a vase with a white background, and we're going to be picking up red and green frit off the marvering table, and we'll take it from there. And we're glad that you're here. We're glad that we're here and being able to share with you as we wing it. Seat of the pants.
Yep, okay. All right, so Foster's got his blowing iron up. and he's headed off to the annealer to pick up. And yes, Mary Beth Morgan, that really was a gingerbread man. And while Foster's picking up the color, I will go back and show you all what I neglected a moment ago. And that's it. Little gingerbread face. Okay. Good morning, Dale. Nice to see you. And Mary Beth and Lynn, everybody.
So
okay.
This is sort of a repeat of Monday all over again. Because on Mondays is when Bruce comes in by himself to work. But I'll come on out to the studio after we go grocery shopping and Walmarting, and I'll come on out, work with Bruce, help him a little bit on projects that he's got that require more than one person. Although he's very innovative and he has worked out situations where he can do really the work of two people. And if he doesn't get it right the first time, he'll try again until he gets it.
Hey, good morning to Robin Hollinger. Welcome aboard. It's been a little while. There you go. Okay. And for those of you that may have joined us within the last few minutes, of course you recognize Foster, and you probably heard my voice enough. You know, I'm Bruce, and we're here. Unfortunately, we don't have Todd and Josh. Todd's a little under the weather. He'll be back with us next week. Just taking it easy today. Nothing to worry about. And Josh was unavoidably delayed today. We're not sure if he's going to make it or not. We're hoping that he does. But if he doesn't, we're here. So we're not abandoning the program, but we're not going to do the pieces that we had advertised. We might throw in one or two of them toward the end. Right now, Foster's going to work on a vase, and he's got this white that'll be the background color. And here are the red and green frit on the marver for a nice holiday treatment. All righty.
So, first clear.
So it's good to have you all with us, and it's nice to have the moral support. So if you've got any questions, use the comment section. We'll be glad to answer whatever we can. Also, we were so busy scrambling around trying to get things organized this morning, we haven't really picked out a giveaway piece this week, but, or maybe you have.
No, we're going to do the icicle.
The icicles will be the giveaway.
That's way down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all righty. So that's going to be it. The icicle, and so if you comment, your name will get entered in a random drawing. You'll have an opportunity to have one of those beautiful little icicles. So right now, Foster's going to use that cherry wood block, and he's going to turn the pipe and get that shaped up. The block gives the glass a shaping, and it also cools the outer edge of it, kind of stabilizes a little bit. You see the steam rising, and that steam coming up is created when the hot glass rolls on the wet wood. And that little bit of steam is actually kind of like a lubricant. It makes it move smoothly. And those blocks stay in the water all the time. Yes, Mary Beth, the separation of the frit is so that it doesn't obscure the background color. We'll get a full decent covering of it, but you'll be able to see through it to the white. Now Foster's going to have to let this cool off a little bit before he gathers again. If he were to take that glass while it's still pretty hot and go into that 2,000 degree furnace and gather, the bubble that he's just blown out in there would start shrinking up, and he'd have to start that part all over. We have a group of students watching. That's really cool, Marianne. They want to know how hot is the oven. Okay, well where Foster's going in right now is what we call the furnace. That contains the molten glass. It's running at about 2,030 degrees right now. And that glass will stay at that temperature for just a very little while after he brings it out and takes it back to work. It's so hot, in fact, that it actually flows. and by turning the pipe like that, you saw that he had the glass drizzle off. So that's how fluid the glass is at that temperature. The glass, though, starts to cool pretty quick. Now, we don't have thermometers on the glass, so what we do is we watch the color and the way the glass is reacting. And the color is starting to darken a little bit. When Foster first came out of the furnace, the glass was glowing. It was incandescent. And right now it's starting to cool off and it's not as bright. So that'll start to stabilize some, and Foster will then go back to what we call the glory hole, which is a reheating oven. And the whole idea of that is to bring this glass back up to temperature so that he can work it. So actually the glory hole runs at a hotter temperature than the furnace. That's so we can get it blasted back up to the heat we want pretty quick. Glory hole runs at about 2,300 degrees. And those are all Fahrenheit. I didn't ask Marianne. No, well, you know, she said she's got a group of students, and I can't do the centigrade or Celsius conversion that fast. But anyway, about 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit over there. And this is the glory hole. Now, there's no glass in that. That is basically a big ceramic tube. It's got what's called a refractory material in it, and that holds the heat in and reflects it. And it's got a burner tip there. It's powered by propane, as are all the other heating appliances. Foster now is going to go and take another gather. Now take a look at the color. Foster, if you wouldn't mind, just show him. Okay, so take a look at that color and compare it in about another 12 seconds after he takes the gather, lets a little drizzle off, and comes out, and you'll see how much brighter this is. The incandescence in the glass. And there you go. And you don't need me to tell you that that's hot. Okay, there he goes, letting it drizzle off or strip off some. And by turning the pipe, it just burns itself apart. And that's how that little tail comes up off of it. Is the staff you use very hot too? The blowing iron, okay, I'm guessing that's what you're talking about there, Jessica. The metal pipe that Foster has. It gets hot for about the first 12 to 13 inches up from the glass. We can't touch it there. But it's a special stainless steel, and where Foster's hands are right now, it does not get hot, okay? Beautiful, and there's the frit picked up, and as he blows this out, the frit pieces will separate, and then after they separate, you'll be able to see more of the white through it. And
I thought I would go ahead and twist these up onto the surface of the clear glass.
okay, cool. So you can see that these pieces of frit are like little dots. And what Foster's going to do after heating this in a moment is he's going to bring it over here to the metal table we call Foster. Marianne, students want to know if you're scared. No, he's not scared. He's been doing this for 40 years. Okay, so now he's twisting the glass on the marver, but leaving it in one place. And what will gradually happen is the friction against that tabletop will begin to twist the glass. You can see all those little dots right now stretching into lines. And he'll do this a couple times until he gets the pattern he wants. Now, somebody asked a moment ago about the blowpipe and whether it gets hot. Sometimes if there's a little bit of moisture inside the pipe, it can get hot, but that doesn't very often happen. And if the students ask where the glory hole got its name, halo. Okay, hence glory, a halo of heat. Thank you. Here's a pipe cooler over here. So was he scared the first time you blew glass? Foster, were you scared the first time I blew glass?
No. That you blew glass?
Okay, so now he's getting more twist in it, and you can see it become lines. One of the characteristics of this move is that it doesn't twist at the very tip. So by grabbing his shears and pulling against them, he extends the twist throughout the piece. So anyway, that pipe, or iron as we sometimes call it, is perfectly nice temperature right where Foster's hand was. So not a problem there. Okay, so now he's going to reheat that. He's going to shape it. Lots of times the manipulation of the glass causes a little bit of distortion in the shape of the bubble, the air column, that sort of thing. So he might have to take just a moment to reshape that. Then he'll swing this out and make it into a beautiful vase. There is one other oven that we had, and I didn't show you yet. We will later, and that's called an annealer. And the annealer actually runs at about 900 degrees Fahrenheit all day. What you need, buddy?
Just looking to see where things work.
Okay. So Foster's not even working at his regular bench. Normally he works down at the far end. We had this one lit today, anticipating Josh, and I sometimes work here, but Foster, being the talented guy he is, can move to another location without any problem. And there you see the beautiful design taking shape.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go ahead and marker it.
You want the frit swept off?
No, I think I'll be okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So you'll probably hear us talking to each other a lot more today than you do normally when people are making pieces, because as I said earlier, we're kind of winging it. In fact, I'll tell you all again, if you just joined us, we're a couple hands short today. Todd's a little under the weather. We're hoping he's going to be feeling real well soon, and all reports are he'll be back later this week, be back with us next week for the live stream. Josh was unavoidably delayed, so we had to start without him. He may show up, and we certainly hope he does. But if not, Foster and I are here to have a good time. Yes, you'll notice that yes, Robin, that is a nice pipe cooler. And when you were here in the studio, we didn't have one. Foster was one of the holdouts. Foster waited the longest time to say, let's go ahead and get a pipe cooler. And actually, we had it, got that about 6 or 8 years ago, or maybe longer, and we all love it. What inspired you to work with glass, Foster? We got a question.
After I finished my college in business, I worked in a bank, and the banking industry was not my forte. I had some exposure to stained glass and went to take a class at Pilchuck up in north of Seattle, and it was there that I saw people blowing glass, and that was what I decided that I wanted to do. So I wound up in the UK in 1980 and 81, and as they say, the rest is history.
All right.
And the best part is that I met my wife, Theda, shortly after getting back from the UK after my training, and we've been together ever since, building this wonderful business with Josh and Todd and yourself and everybody who happens to get exposed to the studio through being here at the Art of Fire in Laytonsville, Maryland, or perhaps at the Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Now you can see the pattern really well against the white background. The colors aren't distinctive yet because of the heat in the glass. Those will become distinct later on. David Hogan says he spent almost 40 years in banking. All right.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
I think one of the more interesting aspects of Foster's journey as a glass blower is his itinerant period. When he and Theda went to numerous states doing Renaissance fairs, and let me see if I can remember. Of course, you did Texas for quite a while. You were in Georgia. You were in New York. You were in Pennsylvania for a while, weren't you? And of course, Maryland for many, many years.
And we still are in Maryland.
Yeah, and let's see, was there one other?
No, I don't
Okay,
think
so anyway, they used to travel around and they would build an annealer and a furnace at each location. And one of the reasons our benches in this studio are made of wood and held together with carriage bolts and screws is Foster started in this industry traveling from place to place. So he could take this bench that you see him sitting on, tear it apart in probably about 20 minutes, stick it in the back of his Dodge van. His glory hole was completely portable. He had all his tools and everything. He had a little bitty marver that went on a stand, and he went from place to place. Yeah, this is going to be a vase, yeah. Okay, what's being made? And I'm sorry some of you missed the beginning, and I got to get back into what's going on today. So anyway, Foster and I are winging it because Todd's under the weather today. He's okay, just needed a little time to get it together. Josh unavoidably delayed, and so instead of going with the pieces that were advertised this week, Foster and I are trying to amuse, entertain, and educate you and hope that you enjoy the presentation. So what he's doing now with the paddle, he's changing the taper on the bottom, and then he's going to flatten the bottom, and then we'll punty up. And actually, Foster, if you want to shape the punty, I think I can hold the camera and flash your piece.
Oh, I'll be okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Foster's going to do this solo. Not Han Solo, just solo glass blowing. Alrighty, so Jessica, yes, glass blowing is a bit of a good workout.
Yeah, Hans was my long lost cousin.
Yeah, there you go. So he's going to heat this a little bit in the glory hole so that it doesn't crack while he goes into the, yes, David, we're doing the chicken dance, we're winging it. So he's going to go in the glory hole and get enough heat in that it doesn't distort. He's just shaping and cooling the bottom a little there on the marver. And once he knows that the piece won't crack, he'll hang it up and then he'll go and make the putty. So this is what we call solo glass blowing. He's going to flatten the bottom just a little bit again. Sometimes we take a look at it and we see maybe a little distortion or something we're not quite happy with. So we just go back then and change it up. So it'll take a couple of flashes. We've got to keep the glass well over 900 degrees, probably well over 1,000 in order to keep it from cracking. But we've got these little yokes up here, or sometimes we call them yard arms, and we can hang the pipe there while Foster makes a trip over to the furnace and creates the punty on that iron. Now he'll bring that over to the marver and shape it. We don't want much glass hanging off the end of this. This is just like a little bit of, almost like a glue bit. It sticks to the bottom of the piece and allows him to transfer it. And that's what this process is called, is a transfer. So we're transferring it from the blowpipe to the punty iron. And then what he'll do now is attach it. Then he'll move it up and down. Robin said she really wanted to see me juggle the pipe and the camera. We'll do it one of these times. It's really, for that part, it's not that tough. Making the punty and holding the camera would be a real trick. All right, a little bit of water, it breaks free. I'll get that if you like. Okay, he's got it. So you noticed it rolled down the bench and stopped right at the end where those little nubs are. And there's a whole lot of people that when they first see that happening, worry that it's going on the floor. But Foster figured that out a long time ago. In fact, ours is one of the few studios where you'll actually see the bench rails sloped. They're sloped forward so that the pipe will run downhill when he's done with it. And I'll tell you a little bit more about another trick he has with that in a moment. Okay, Matthew, welcome. No problem being late. And in case you're just joining us along with Matthew, anybody else, I'm Bruce. Foster's working the piece right now. We're a little short-handed today, unfortunately. Todd's a little under the weather. He's okay, but just needed the day off and he'll be back in the studio. Josh had an unavoidable delay, and so I don't know, maybe like waiting on the guy in the red suit. We're hoping he shows up, but if he doesn't, it's all right, because we got Foster here and I'm going to help him out and maybe do a little bit. So we'll keep you entertained and we'll keep on going. So that's the idea. And right now what Foster's making is a vase with some holiday color in it. He's got a white background, and he's also got this red and green frit that is twisted throughout the design. Now it doesn't appear a lot of red and green right now simply because of the heat, but you can see some of it forming up and the white in between. He's using the tweezers right now to pull the glass out at the neck. You'll notice the back part of the piece toward the pipe is already kind of green there, and the red is showing up as a darker brownish color at this point. That's because that portion of the piece is colder than what's up on the tip. So once he gets that pulled a little bit, he's going to go back for more heat. Good morning, Gabby. Foster's holding down the fort. Oh, he is indeed. Yep. Yep. We'll start calling him Davy Crockett. Okay. King of the glass frontier. Scott Farrell says he's sorry the young guys are out, but now we get to watch the old master. There you go.
The old farts. Oh, we can't say that.
Okay. Yeah, you can say it. I don't.
Yeah, but we have children watching.
Yeah. Alrighty, so now you can see where the heat was located simply by the color. The base of the piece, the bottom, is kind of greenish down there. It's colder. The upper portion he's working right now is hot, and that's why it's got that glow to it. You can also see the heat dissipate, actually. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome aboard. What Foster's doing now is he's stretching the piece out. He folded that little bit over the end. Sometimes we call that like a flower, and he's using that to brace the jacks and make the neck longer. So when the piece came off, it wasn't quite shaped like he wanted. And what he's going to do now is knock that little flower off. He's not going to cut it off. You want me to tap it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Robin, I'm going to use tweezers and hold the camera. There we go. And that takes it off. Okay. So there was a little excess glass on the end, and Foster didn't want that on there. And I'm going to kick it out of the way. You're going to lose some camera angles today while we dance around this. Anyway, so what he did was he created that little flower on the end and pulled it out away from the piece, cut a new spot for the opening, and now he'll continue to make the piece. What's the youngest age person who may sign up for classes? Well, we're not running classes right now for pretty obvious reasons, and typically what, about 14, 16? Okay. And there might be exceptions for some reason, but as you can see, this is a pretty intense activity, and for actual lessons, that's kind of difficult. It's a lot of multitasking in this. You have to be able to do 2 or 3 things at the same time, and you also have to be really aware of what's going on so that you don't wind up burning yourself. Okay, so that was Foster rubbing his head and patting his belly with one hand, by the way.
While I'm turning the pipe.
While he's turning the pipe. All right, so he's got his steam cone out, and you've seen the use of the steam cone before. It's another piece of cherry wood. It's cut into a conical shape. He's going to cool the lip of the piece just a little, and he's going to stick that cone in there. Now, because he's got an opaque white, you can't see it growing inside, but you can see the size of the sides there inflate. And that's because when that piece of wood goes in there, covered in water, it creates a bed of steam, and the steam inflates the glass. It also folds it in just a little bit, so he'll pull it out some, but he's going to have to take a reheat now to really open it up. If you're just joining us, I'm Bruce. Foster's working the piece right now. We're a little short-handed today. Todd's out, not feeling well. He'll be doing okay and back with us real quick. Josh had an unavoidable circumstance, so we may see him, we may not. But in the meantime, you've got us, and what more can you ask for? Right, buddy?
The old guys. The old guard.
Yeah, you got the old guard. Okay, so now he's heated up the front of that, and you can see from the orange glow where the heat's concentrated, and now you'll get to see how he uses his jacks to begin and open it up. By using the jacks and pointing his hand toward the ground, he creates a bit of a flare, and if he wants a bit of a constriction, he can go ahead and cut down on the size of the neck there. There we go. Beautiful. Alrighty.
I'm going to do this once or twice more.
Okay. You want to paddle?
This is really the first time. No, not quite yet.
Okay.
I'm not normally used to working in this large glory hole, so this is a new experience for me, which is great because it pushes my limits.
I didn't think you had any limits. I know I have no filter, but let me grab a paddle.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Yes, please. Good. That's great.
Okay, he's going to heat that up.
And then I'll go ahead and I'll use the steam cone one last time.
Okay, he's going to use his steam cone once more. June says she and her son took class with Foster and Todd a few years ago. Helps to be coordinated. Yeah, we strive toward that. We try to get coordinated. You can hear the glass actually moving against that steam cone, but it's inflating right down there. There we go. Yes, sir. Okay.
Good.
Cute
All
little
right.
vase. Wonderful.
Nice. So, the darker colors here are in fact the red color that you see here on the marvering table. Red colors, reds, yellows, oranges do not show their true colors until they're completely cooled the next morning. This now will go into the annealing oven or tempering oven. Oh, there we go. Nice picture.
Yeah.
Nice picture with the sun on it.
He's using the butter knife right now just to kind of cool around the punty joint. He's not trying to knock it off because it would fall on the floor. So what he's going to do now is tap the iron with a hammer handle. It'll come right off of the punty, and he'll put on a couple of insulated gloves. I'm going to ask him to hold the door of the annealer open after he puts it away real quick. We'll take a shot in there, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of whoever it was that had a class watching, but I'll be glad to explain a little bit about the annealer. So there we are with the finished piece. Foster puts it into the annealer.
I'll open up this door for him.
Okay. There it is. Okay, so it's 900 degrees in there. We leave it at that temperature all day long. It's basically just a big box of bricks with a fuel supply, or a flame supply, propane and air. So we keep that at 900 degrees. It's okay for the glass to come down from 1500 degrees or so to 900 degrees without cracking. But what happens to the glass when we go from about 850 through 700? If we go too fast, it cracks. So this is a very carefully calculated box of bricks to release the heat slowly over time. And then as the heat is released very slowly, the stresses in the glass are removed. I call the annealer Paxil for glass. And so anyway, after about 8 hours or so, the glass is fully annealed, runs down to room temperature, and we can take it out the next day. So as far as back to the class question about the heats of the ovens, the furnace over there runs at 2,000 degrees. We've got it bumped up an extra 30 degrees right now just to make it a little more fluid. The glory hole, which we use for reheating over here, runs about 2,300 degrees. The pipe warmer over there, I did forget to mention that. We preheat the irons so that they'll gather the glass easily. If the pipe is not preheated, you put a room temperature pipe in there, especially when it's about 30 degrees outside, the glass that's closest to the pipe gets cooled immediately, can even start to crack, and the pipe does not gather the glass efficiently. So the temperature on that, I'm going to guess, is about 1,000 degrees right now. It's got a burner tip in there that you can see blowing the flame out. In fact, I'll go a little closer because on most of our equipment, you can't see the flame coming out. But there it is. So that's a gas-air mixture that's forced out, and it's going to warm those pipes up. And as I said, the annealer is running at 900.
What's the darker color? You've got some red in there, and
red and green.
Okay, the green are the larger
chunks. The green are the larger chunks. Yeah. There's two reds that could be used as trail or lip wrap or whatever. Oh, interior of an ornament, if we were going to do that. Okay. So, like I said earlier on, we may have to stop and talk once in a while because we're not quite as organized as we are normally. Yes, the two largest pieces at the back and the left side are the green. There's two half chunks of red in there.
Okay.
We talked about doing the snowball ornament maybe, but...
Right, so what I'll do is I'll pick up the piece of green.
Okay.
And then I'll get a couple of gathers. I'll hang it up before I inflate the bubble, and then get some white on clear, and then go ahead, marver it up, and do a free-form wrap.
Okay. All righty. So here you go. We're talking about what we're going to do. Well, let's go down and show you what you're not going to see today. I'm kidding. If you've caught our advertisements and announcements in advance, we had snowmen and snow bunnies and snowballs and trees and all kinds of stuff. But unfortunately, the guys we were counting on to make those that make them the best are not here. Oh, and also the gingerbread face. So if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, you saw we had a giveaway of what we called boo-boo mugs. And that was because Foster and I tried our hands at making the ghost mugs and putting the faces on them. And they really looked atrocious. It's a real skill to get all these dots on the snowman and get that little orange nose on there without burning it. So we'll probably skip that today. We'll see how adventuresome we get as time goes on. At any rate, that's what we will probably move forward till next week, because Todd will be feeling better and Josh will be back, and we'll get all this stuff for you. And this little gingerbread face is really kind of cute. The icicle is what we're giving away this week. So be sure to enter the comments on there, because that's what's going to get you entered in the drawing to win one. And then we also have a lot of ornaments. We've got the snowball ornaments, which is like a crackle finish that pierces through the white overlay. We've got diamond optic ornaments, some of them in a single color like this purple, some with multiple colors like the red, green, and white, or perhaps just purple and green. A lot of cane ornaments. You saw these a week ago. This is the filigrana cane, and here we go with the twisted cane in an ornament. Lots of ornaments, and also lots of shirts. I see more names checking in, so let me give you our plea for mercy. Josh and Todd are out today, or Todd is out. He's not feeling well, but he's okay. He'll be back. Josh had an unavoidable delay. He may or may not be in. We'll see. In the meantime, you've got me, Bruce, and Foster here, for your listening and dancing pleasure. So let's go back and find out. Oh, you know what? You can buy gift certificates too for your friends and family. You can order pieces online. If you want to order anything you see made, that's entirely a possibility too. So lots of options. This the random trail?
This is
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take this and put it in the pipe warmer.
Okay. So on this next piece, in order to minimize the amount of time that I have to hold the camera and help Foster, he's creating what's going to be the trail piece first. And then I'm guessing that I'll heat that up and deliver it to you. I can do that if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we'll do. So I'll hold the camera in one hand and hope I keep the field of vision on what we're doing. But my attention will be actually directed to the hot glass and the man I'm trying to help. So he's rolling this out right now, and it's going to be kind of conical shape. Then he's going to let it cool for just a couple of moments. If we put it in the pipe warmer right now, it's probably hot enough that it starts sagging all over the place. So he's going to get that shape. It'll stabilize a little bit. That's right, Joe, the show must go on. And if you all saw what I titled the show today, it's Flying by the Seat of Our Pants. So he's got the white wrap prepared, and I'll keep an eye on that. It's going into the pipe warmer where it'll stay warm, and we just don't want it to crack or get too hot and start falling all over the place. Alrighty. A green base, a couple of gathers, and a blowout, Foster?
Yeah.
How small can you make a rondelle? Can it be made small enough like a coaster, like a 3-inch diameter? It wouldn't be exactly like a rondelle as far as being spun out, but we can definitely make a 3-inch disc. So normally when we make the rondelles, they're a blown form. We gather the glass, we blow out a sphere, and then at some point we spin it around and use centripetal force to expand it. For a 3-inch diameter, we probably wouldn't bother with that because the diameter of the blown out piece would probably be 1.5 inches, which is nothing. And it'd be very difficult to transfer to a putty and spin out. But we can make a 3-inch disc. So for whoever asked that, so I'll tell you, when you're making comments and I'm filming him, your names and your comments just fly across the screen. So if you want to order coasters, okay, and I'm not going to start singing from the 50s, okay? Charlie Brown, huh? Charlie Brown, anybody? Never mind. Okay, so, damn, that's bad.
The coasters. There
Yeah, so what we'll do is you place an order. You send Theta a text message, or you can go to artoffire.com or call us 301-253-6642. Did I get that right?
Yep.
I did. How about that? I remembered the phone number. All I ever do is punch my cell phone that says Art of Fire. So anyway, Theta will help you out with getting some coasters made. And if you'll order them right now, I promise not to sing any of the coasters' songs. Okay, so Foster's got the chunk of green. He's heated it up and melted it. He's putting the shape to it, and in just a moment, he's going to pressurize the air column in it by blowing in. Nope, no pressure.
No pressure. I'm going to get my first gather of glass.
Good. Okay.
And then I'm going to, because this is solid, what I will do is bring it to the glory hole, let it saturate with heat, and then come to the bench, block up the glass, the clear glass, and then set the bubble or expand the bubble of color into that first gather or wrap of clear.
Okay.
That's the way that we're going to approach this. That way the color has much more intensity to it.
All right, cool.
Since because I'm such an intense kind of guy.
Okay, well, that's the plan, right? And if you're just joining us, I'm Bruce. You're watching Foster right now. We are Toddless and Joshless today. Todd's a little under the weather. He'll be doing all right. Not to worry. He'll be back. And Josh had a unforeseen circumstance. We may or may not see him in a while, but we're going to carry on anyway. So as Foster explained to you, he's going to use his block to shape this, and he's going to get this heat to penetrate that dark green core. And then after that, he'll blow it out. What shape will this be, Foster?
A rounded bowl.
A rounded bowl, okay.
And if we have some particular requests, I can see what I can do. Otherwise, we'll just see what it wants to do.
Okay. So Foster's plan is a bowl. If there's anybody that Toddless and Joshless is like an episode title. Yeah, there you go. That would work. Okay. So if anybody, Diana says she's looking forward to today's creations. We are too. Jennifer says she's a little late to the party. Actually, it's probably not going to be an ornament party. This is a little bit large to be an ornament, okay? So anyway, Josh and Todd are out today. Foster and I are holding down the fort, flying by the seat of our pants, and just keeping things under control here. As you can see, the size of that gather has increased. He's got the clear glass on the outside. The green has been expanded. So yeah, Jennifer, Todd's a little under the weather today. He's going to be doing better. Expect to see him later this week. And Josh just had something come up. He's delayed right now. If he gets here, he gets here. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Right. We wish he were. We love working with him. Okay, so yes, David, this would make an ornament for a huge tree. Like one of the trees down on the National Mall that has...
Or up in New York City.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, you could go up to Rockefeller Center, huh? Do you ice skate, Foster?
I used to.
Ah, okay.
I even roller skated.
Okay, and again, he strips a little glass off and brings it on back over. Okay, a couple of you had asked about the orbs and said the ornaments with the glass drippings inside. That's actually kind of Foster's signature piece. There's not a lot of people that make those, and I'm not going to say it's a trade secret because other people do, but we're not going to make them.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
They figured
it out themselves, okay?
That's right.
So it's not that we don't want you to see it, it's just that he sat and figured it out, so...
We don't do them in public, that's all there is.
Yeah.
So I'll heat this up, Bruce, arbor it out, and then you can bring this to me from behind.
From behind.
And I'll go ahead and
do a random trail. You don't want it pointed down, you want it at a 45 angle. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go behind the block
yeah,
bucket. Okay.
As if it were a lip wrap.
Okay. All right, cool. I can heat that if you want.
No, you got your hands full.
Well, I got one hand full. Okay, so you can see also on this that the tip of that wrap is a little bit brighter color. It was hotter there, so we're going to have to take a while to get this thing warmed up. Fair enough, Bridget said. A magician never reveals his secret. You are the David Copperfield of glass blowing.
Oh, hardly. My trick is to work with everybody and get them to a point where they understand how the glass works, as do all of us when we have our classes and our experiences.
You want me to flash the piece in the furnace for a second?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I just was asking Foster about the piece over here that's hanging in the yard arm, and if it hangs for a little too long, it'll get cold. So I'm going to grab it with one hand while I hold the camera and put the piece up into our furnace here, and that's why your camera shots are suffering right now, because I have a pipe in one hand and the camera in the other. So what I'm going to do is heat this up for a few more seconds, and then I'm going to take it out, hang it back up in the yard arm for Foster. The reason it's taking so long is I'll come back and close the furnace. You want it?
Yeah.
Let me close the furnace. That white glass takes a long time to reheat.
You can take that.
Okay.
So, whenever you're ready.
Okay, give me a few more seconds. So what we do now is I'm just watching the tip of that glass in the glory hole, and I apologize for the fact that you're looking into that bright unit. You can't really see, but yeah, don't get them confused. I don't want to give Foster the camera and try to hold the hot glass in my hand. Okay, so now I'm going to one-hand this, bring it over to Foster, who will grab it. And do a random trail. Sorry about the camera work, folks, but I got to watch the pipe. And you can see him pulling that. And then when he gets done, we'll break it free. Way to go. Come on, let's hear it for Foster.
No, let's hear it for Bruce.
So,
That was
I'm going to put this pipe with the white on it back into the, yes sir, pump elbows on that. Got that one in there. So now he's got the trail on there. Suzanne Cox, Himmelberg, well, welcome aboard. Any of you that are joining us late, I'm not trying to beat this dead horse, but we're without Todd and Josh today. Todd's a little under the weather. He'll be back probably in the next day or so, fully ready to roll. Josh has an unavoidable delay, may show up, may not, but you got me and Foster here, and what more could you ask? And we promise not to be like a couple of old guys with their hair coloring dripping down the side of their face while they make fools of themselves. We can make fools of ourselves very easily, but we're going to try and keep it under control here. So Foster's got the trail on there now. The next order of business is to marver and make sure that this gets melted in just exactly like he wants. A little bit of air. You can see his finger over the end of the blowpipe, and here's the result down here. The glass inflates. So when he puts his finger over the pipe and blows, what's really happening is he's trapping compressed air. If standard atmosphere is 14.7 pounds per square inch, when he blows into the pipe, he perhaps doubles that, maybe to about 28 or 29 psi. He puts his finger over the end of the pipe, and the air pressure wants to go somewhere, but it's not going to blow his bony finger off the pipe, and it's certainly not going to blow through that stainless steel. When it encounters hot glass, it blows up in there. So now he's going to set the neckline here. That's something that needs to be done early in the process. We've taught for, well, I've been teaching here 20 years, and we quite often find people, it's like an episode of The Odd Couple. I love that. I love that. Okay, which one of us is Felix? Okay, so he's got the jack line set in it, and now he's going to go and start heating that up. So for those of you that joined us late, it's me and Foster today, and you're not going to really see a lot of the stuff that we had hoped to show you today. because the people that we had hoped to show you with aren't here. And if you saw the boo-boo mugs from a couple of weeks ago, you'll understand why he and I are reluctant to put faces on a snowman. However, if we wind up with a spare 30 minutes or something at some point, we might do it just to embarrass ourselves. But for right now, we're sticking with what we know. So Foster's got this beautiful shape going. This is going to be a bowl. And so in a few moments, he's going to get this blown out and shaped like he wants. Then he'll do the transfer and we'll open it up. If you'd like to order any of the pieces you found in our catalog or seen demonstrated, you can go to artoffire.com. You can do instant messaging with Theta or Facebook Messenger, or call the studio 301-253-6642. Any number of things. If you're wondering why he's hitting that with wet newspaper, it's to cool the bottom. I have a saying that I've used for years with glass blowing students: hot glass moves, cold glass don't. If you cool the glass, it won't move as much. So by cooling that bottom, Foster was able to concentrate the inflation in the upper portion of the vessel. So once he gets the bottom half of the vessel shaped as he wants, do a transfer and shape the top. That's the way that about probably 80% of the vessels are done. Now this time he's cooling the bottom with the Marver. Rolling across that steel table chills the glass down there. And when he gets that chilled out, were he to blow right then, as he is now, you'll see the inflation takes place in the upper portion of the vessel, not the bottom so much. There we go. All righty. And now you're starting to see through the transparent green, and you see the beautiful white trail all around it. So once again, if you're seeing something that you like maybe you'd like this piece when you see it done, you can order that. You'll have to email Theta, talk to her online, give us a phone call. They'll set a price and everything, but this can be yours. Most everything around here is for sale but the tools.
Except us.
Except us and the tools. So he's using a paddle again, once again, to flatten the bottom, so that if you decide you want this beautiful bowl in your kitchen or your living room, you don't want it rolling off the end of the table. So that's the purpose of flattening. Okay. He uses the jacks to put a little dimple in the bottom, a recess. And no, it's not playtime if the kindergartners are still watching. That's recess is so that the punty goes in there and it's not going to be, no residue from it will be extending below the piece. You going to do it solo? Okay. So Foster is, yes it is absolutely one of a kind, and I'm getting a better picture of it right now, Bridget. You can kind of see that green coming through. Okay, there we go. All right, Foster is marvering his punty. He'll take the piece off of the yard arm, put it on the bench, and then begin the punty process. He attaches the punty, then he makes sure he's got it in the center of the piece, and we'll take it on down. He's going to keep turning toward those buckets so he can put his tweezers into a bucket of water and put just a drip of water onto the net. That creates a fracture point. The tap takes it free, and the pipe rolls to the end of the bench. Yeah, Bridget, it does look a little bit like the color used for wine bottles right now. This is actually an emerald green, so it's going to look a lot prettier than that. Although I see nothing wrong with wine bottles, personally. Unless they're empty. Okay. So we work the bottom half of a vessel first, and then we work the top, and if you can see that okay, Foster basically has the end of the piece, the mouth opening in there, into the heat. The rest of it is a little bit further back. We have what we refer to as a curtain of heat, like where the heat starts when you put the piece up to the glory hole. And if you leave it out just even with the doors or a little further out, it doesn't get so hot. And you'll see that in the colors when Foster comes back to the bench here. So the glass that was the hottest is the brightest. That's the lip. The next zone, the next couple of inches, is glowing, kind of a deeper reddish color. And then the base is back to green. So that's how he concentrated the heat. So this is zone heating or spot heating. Now when we go into the glory hole, we don't have much choice. The whole thing gets hot. So if he wants to cool off a portion of it, he either doesn't heat it or he cools it ahead of time, perhaps with a piece of wet newspaper. He's in right now to the full depth to heat the punty. If that gets below 1,000 degrees, the piece is likely to crack off. And now what he's doing is heating the upper half. Are you going to use a fluting plate? I saw you looking over here.
Well, no, I was looking to see where my steam cone was. No, I think I'm just going to go ahead and open it out to a nice flared hole.
Okay. So he's already got the heat in it, and you can see how that's really, really hot. The jacks on the lip cools the lip a little bit so that it doesn't move too much. And then the steam cone, you can see the glass inflating around the cone. It's a real handy tool to have. And now that he's got that blown up as much as he wants, he'll fold the lip back out a little bit, but it's going to take some more heat. Let me get around here so you can see. He's got the jacks in there, but the glass was cooling off, so it was a little tougher to move. All right.
Yeah.
Now he's going to flash that punty again, putting the whole piece in. Then he's going to come back and heat the face of the vessel, because that's what he wants to manipulate next. So that's the very end where it's still kind of curved in toward the body. You'll notice he keeps reheating the whole thing a little bit once in a while, just to make sure that it doesn't cool off and crack. You can also see the heat concentration in the colors there, the brightness. He's using paper pegs now. They're, instead of the wooden jacks, it's actually paper pegs, and he's flaring this out to a beautiful, oh, that's a beautiful shape, Foster. Yep, Joanna, you gotta agree, it's really beautiful. So the blades of that particular tool are actually cardboard tubes, and they're pretty thick layers. And here's the random trail pattern all around. Sweet. Okay.
All right. So let's stabilize the temperature, and we'll go ahead and put it away into the annealing oven.
Okay. All right, so now Foster's back to what we call the knockoff box. He's checking the height of the ceiling to make sure he doesn't hit that. Taps around the punty again, and then he'll tap that with the hammer handle, and the vibration will break it free of the piece. Then he'll put on a pair of insulated gloves and put the piece away. There we go. Funny's off. And Dr. Holcombe will glove up. Ready for surgery. Fully scrubbed. And away it goes into the annealer.
And sanitized.
And sanitized, yes. Okay, so we've got that piece away. Excellent, very cool. All right, so as I explained earlier, this stays at around 900 degrees all day, and then it will cut it off tonight and it'll go down slowly. So let's hear it for Foster.
Thank you.
Way to go, way to go.
That was turned out to be a nice piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it can be yours, okay? All you got to do is contact us and say, I want the green bowl with white trail that Foster made today. And Theta will make it happen. So let's come on back down here and once again show you what we're not going to do today. That really sounds terrible, but as I've explained a few times, Josh and Todd are not with us today. Todd's a little under the weather, but he's doing okay. Be back to work real quick. And Josh had something come up, and I just got a text message from him, and he's not going to make it in today. But nonetheless, Foster and I are here, and we're going to keep making glass for you. And I promise you, we'll be making some of these things next week that well, actually, he and I won't. The whole reason we're not making them is, if you saw the Boo Boo mugs a couple weeks ago where we tried to put ghost faces on the mugs, you know that that's a skill that's pretty hard to do. And we've got these beautiful snowmen, and we're really reluctant to do that right now unless we're just feeling really goofy. We've got the snow bunny, we've got a Christmas tree, and yes, somebody just mentioned the gingerbread face. We can do that. And for whomever wrote a few minutes ago and asked something about a small rondelle the size of a coaster, this is the kind of thing we could do. This is actually just flattened glass here that's made into a spherical, a round shape. So we could do a disc like that with different designs on it. We could make it thinner. So if you really wanted coasters, please just get in touch with us. Yes, David, we probably could call it a Picasso snowman because that's about what it would look like. We've also got these ornaments we call snowball ornaments, and we've got icicles. Last week you saw Todd make the lace type pattern vase where we've got the bubble optics in it and the multiple colors. We've got diamond optic balls. We've got some of them with a single color, or we can mix colors. Here's a real pretty one with red, green, and white. Here's one that's got, actually I think it is red and green. It just, the two colors blend a little and leans towards purple. We've got cane ornaments. We've got multicolored ornaments and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we can make a Santa hat just like the witch's hat. Yeah, I see Theta already answered it. And we've got orders for those already. If you're interested in t-shirts, we got t-shirts here. You can order those. I think they're, what, Foster, $20 plus tax?
They're 25.
25, okay.
25.
All righty, so you can order gift certificates. You can purchase a gift certificate from us and let your friends or family pick out what it is they want. Robin, you'd love to see us try a snowman. Well, we may, we'll see, okay? Let's figure out what's going on here next. All righty.
Let's do a red vase with the white freeform wrap.
Okay.
And I'll do a ring bottom vase.
Okay. You're going to use one of those red bits that's in there?
I'm going to actually put two of them together.
Two of them together for a full
right.
disc, okay?
Yep.
So we're negotiating right now. Well, not so much negotiating, we're trying to figure out what it is we're doing. So this is the conversation we normally have before we start broadcasting. We get our colors together, we get all our tools together, everybody's on the same page, and we hope it comes off as one seamless operation.
It's like when we're making a piece of glass. Two people working together. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I need you to assist me so that we don't be running into each other with hot glass on the end of the pipe and our pieces turn out as nice as they should.
There you go. now somebody's decided if they chant snowman, we'll make one. Actually, that's not going to do it. But it's a good thought, and we appreciate it. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up some white for the three-quarter.
All right. I'm going to
I
close.
won't make it quite as large this time.
What's that?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to close these doors up so, number one, it doesn't broadcast as much heat onto us, and also it conserves the heat of the glory hole. Glory holes actually lose temperature when the doors are open, so when we make pretty big pieces, then if we leave the glory hole doors open, it gets pretty cool in there. And by cool, I mean probably down to about 1,500 degrees, and then it really takes a long time to heat. Okay, so we got a request to show the t-shirts again. So I'm gonna go walk down and show the t-shirts, Foster.
Okay, sounds good.
So, here we go. Lynn asked about the Christmas tree. Hold on just a minute there. Okay, so this is a design by Violet, Todd's daughter, with the happy cats. We have those. We have a few of the red Art of Fire left, but not many. And we've got ones that have the set of glass blowing tools on the front. And here's the one for a hot time, and you can call the Art of Fire. So we've got a lot of the beige ones or white ones, not so many of the red. Okay, so there's the shirts. And somebody asked about Christmas trees. So this is the latest iteration of a Christmas tree, and that has a white core and then individual red dots on it. So if it was green, I'd say it was a holly with red berries, but I think that's more supposed to be ornaments on the tree. At any rate, there you go. That's, you asked for it, you got it. Okay. And what are we going to do with the white, Foster?
We'll do a body wrap.
And you're going to do the red too?
I'm going to do the red underneath.
Oh,
no,
and
the red will be the core.
Okay, a red core, the white body wrap. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes it takes us a time. It's better to ask 2 or 3 times to make sure you're on the same page than either pick up the wrong color or bring the wrong thing at that time. So he's just hanging that to let it cool a little bit right now, and he's going to go over and pick up the red solid glass out of the annealer. So we had 2 separate chunks of red in there, and what he's going to do right now is he's going to get them both together on one pipe. Well, he's got one of them. He'll probably go back for the other. Whoop, that one's hit the floor. So sometimes with a little jolt like that,
I don't see where it went.
well, we'll look for it for a minute.
I think it went.
Is that it alongside the track?
that there?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
No, that's a start.
Okay.
I'll pick up the other one. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes, as you saw, if the pipe taps the yoke there that he puts the handle into, if it taps it just a little bit, shall we say less than gently, it can actually jump off. So he's spending a little bit of time sticking that on there, and this time he's going to go gently onto the yoke so that it doesn't, in fact, he bypassed the yoke altogether. What a move. It may seem elementary to you all, but it makes a big difference. And it just came off.
No!
Oh no!
No!
Okay, you want a red frit core?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so. Yeah.
all right.
Let's
Hang with it. So, we lost the 2 pieces of red, but though not to worry. I'll get you some 0 or 00 so you can get some dense coverage.
Yeah, 00 or 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you can join us now in these thrilling days of yesteryear. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Okay, so we've got our frit and our bar color and everything else back here. And what I'm going to do is reach up here and get one of our colors. They're numbered. That's the manufacturer puts them out. And this one's called 315. 0 is the frit size. And this color happens to be Christmas red. So I'm going to wander back over to where Foster is. And instead of picking up a solid piece of color for the core, he's going to use frit. You want it in a bowl or on the marver? He's handling me a bowl, so that's the answer. Okay, so I'll bring this back on over here. Notice he's got gloves on when he picks up that little hot chunk of glass because it's still hot enough to burn. I'm going to switch hands here and see if I can rip this Tupperware off. There we go. And the red frit goes into the bowl. And we're back in business. Okay? So, as I've said many times before, it's not what you can make, it's what you can fix. So without the red color he wanted, we simply substitute some other. So he'll gather clear to begin with, and then when he gets enough clear that he feels like he can, do what he wants, he'll go ahead and dip that into frit. When we do go for the frit, we like to do it just as soon as we come out of the furnace, unless we have to strip a little off. The glass that comes out of the furnace is the hottest it'll ever be. We have a good friend, David McDermott, that says original heat can't be beat. And it's absolutely true. Fresh out of the furnace is the hottest the glass will ever get. So Foster's going to manipulate this a little bit, shape it, and he's going to probably heat it numerous times and pick up plenty of red so he gets a nice solid color in it. Yeah, Suzanne, for a day like today, a headband GoPro camera would work pretty well, but this is a rare occurrence. This is what, you know why this happened today, Foster? It's our 13th episode. Oh, no, at least it's not Friday. So that would have been a double whammy. So there you go. That's got to be the answer. But normally, with Josh and Todd and Foster and me in here, we got no problem with the handheld camera.
No, Friday the 13th was in November.
Yeah. All right, so he's going to go into that frit. Now, the use of the grain number on that, the number 0, it allows a much more dense coverage. If we used a number 1 or number 2, the individual pieces of frit would be further apart, and as he blew it out, they'd stretch more. Kind of like when you saw him work that very first piece with the green and red frit over white. Matthew says he's designing a new pipe-mounted camera for us in his head. Now that would be interesting because the pipe is constantly turning. So if the camera's attached to the body of the pipe, I can imagine everybody getting seasick as the pipe turns. It can't go on the mouthpiece because that's where we blow, and it can't go on the hot end because it would burn it up. Oh, and have a cooling unit attached to it too. I think we've got some engineers in the audience today, Foster.
That's great. That's awesome.
Okay.
That's how new tools and toys come about.
Okay, so now you can see how dense that red coverage is on there.
I'm going to get another gather of clear and go through the red once again.
Again, okay,
Yeah.
good. So we're going to get a really dense red cover on this. And I'm going to come over here and make sure that this white isn't melting. Or as they say in the Wizard of Oz, I'm melting, I'm melting. Actually, Robin, I am holding this phone in a gimbal-mounted gyroscope. And the reason for that is when we first decided to do this, we simply held the phone and took video. And the handshaking was horrendous. And this little device that I've got the phone mounted on is really great, because even if I move too fast, it compensates. In fact, we almost made, I think it was Josh's wife, I think Amanda said it was making her seasick, because I would turn the camera to another direction like this and it would whip around. But this thing has a delay in it, so it stays upright and it doesn't let me do too much bad stuff. Anyway, enough about camera technology. Foster is still building up the red on that, so he's got a really strong base that you won't be seeing through. It's a slightly transparent color, and as he blows it out more and more, it will get a little bit, let's say, translucent, not really transparent. Okay, and if you're joining us late, I'm Bruce, this is Foster. We are without Todd and Josh today.
We're the old guard.
But yeah, we've got the old guys. Hey, we could do one of those movies with like Tommy Lee Jones and James Garner and Donald Sutherland and all that stuff. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, he's getting a lot of red on there so that it will form a really deep background, and then he'll start getting his clear, and then in a few moments we'll be ready to do the white. We're going to go with the white on that, and then
what we'll do,
you're going to gather.
I'll get this going.
Okay.
Is that what I did last time I came? Oh, no, I know what I did.
No.
No, got it. All right.
I can actually warm that up for you if you want. The Goodfellas, yeah, that's it. I got the Joe Pesci role. You can be Ray Liotta. Grumpy old men, oh no, come on. Ah, that one hurt. Oh, she said not. Okay, then we can buy that. All right, so Foster's got the glass on, and what he's going to do here is begin to shape it, and he'll get this into the shape he wants, and then we'll deliver the white for the trail. And the white takes quite a little while to heat up, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. In fact, Foster's going to need to let that cool a little bit, so I'm going to wait and see if he needs a reheat, and if he doesn't, I'm going to get this white into the glory hole. You good with that, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll take this pipe out, and into the glory hole we go. So when you're working together like this, you got to keep an eye on what each other's doing. Like, I don't want to be here tying up the glory hole when Foster needs an immediate reheat. So he's got the piece, I'm watching him, he's watching me, both of us with failing eyesight. All right, he's going to heat that up for a couple of minutes for me. And we've got the piece hanging over here, and you can still see from that bright orange glow, it's got lots of heat in it, okay? So we're all right there for a little while. Should that turn completely dark, it could get cold enough to crack. White is what we call a stiff color. It's slow to heat up, and it's quick to cool off. So it's a difficult one to work with. Whereas greens and blues, colors like that, are soft. So he's going to roll this on the marver a little bit. Again, I'll apologize. Have you seen Space Cowboys? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I also know the, okay, got it.
Just stay right there.
Okay. Some people call me a Space Cowboy.
Good. Come on out.
Some people call me the Gangster of Love. Some people call me Maurice. Because I speak of the politics of love. I'm not gonna. I don't need to sing it. We'll just display it as poetry.
Well, what does Joyce call you?
Okay, good. I'm coming out, so he can do that. I need to get back in for a little heat here. Yes, Robin, that is correct, but not all of them do, and a lot of them have removed that from the formula. You want to give me just about another 20 seconds, maybe?
Got it.
Okay. So we don't want this to be too cold. Yep, that's right, the Joker, Rachel Whitaker. Somebody identified it. I'm a picker, I'm a grinner. Got all that good stuff, okay?
Yep.
Here we go. So I got to get a hold of this so that I can control it. Walk around behind Foster. Keep it turning for him. Sorry about the camera, folks, but I'm concentrating on what's going on over here. Holding the pipe and using the camera is a little tricky. Okay, and there we got a nice spiral pattern on it. Good deal. Okay. The Joker, Johnny Cash style. I like that.
Can you take this for just a moment? I'm going to turn the door hole up.
So Foster's got me turning the pipe for a moment because he's used to working on a slightly cooler glory hole. This one normally runs a lot hotter when the rest of us are working here. He's been working in his unit for, well, 40 years, so he's got that going. And this was just getting a little bit cool. So right now we got the heat bumped up a little bit, and that'll help melt this glass in pretty well.
I'm going to go into the optic mold.
Okay. Which one you want?
I think that one, yes, sir.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, into the optic mold he'll go in a moment, but he's got to get it plenty hot first. It needs to go in there, and he needs to be able to expand it, because when you blow into the glass that's in the optic mold, it throws it out into those ridges. So he just took that out, took a good look at it, checking out the temperature. We don't want it really dripping or anything when we put it in there, but it needs to be hot enough to move, because that's what hot glass does. And okay, he's going to marver the tip so that it goes down in there. That's another characteristic. Are the molds heavy? This one that he's going to use, Bridget, has an open frame with the fins in it. That's not very heavy at all. This one over here is a little bit heavy. That one, okay, here he goes. Checking the fit. Now he'll get it ripping hot. This other large one over here, it probably weighs about 4, maybe 5 pounds. When we start throwing them around, they're pretty hefty. And he's getting that super, super hot, so he can come over here and blow into it. You'll see the ridges form in this open mold, which is really kind of cool, because the glass actually gets thrown out between those blades and makes a really neat design.
Okay, I'm going to go into the optic mold now.
Okie doke. You can probably see it expanding a little bit. It's kind of hard from this angle, but you can see the folds in the glass being created. And there they are. Okay, so there's the ridges. You want to twist it?
Yep.
Aha, a little twisted sister. Okay, he's going to bring it back over to the marver, get it hot, and then just as he did in the first piece today, he's going to twist it. Oh good, he's going clockwise. Because if he wasn't, we'd have to talk about it going anti-clockwise. It's a joke around here. As Foster said earlier, he was trained in the UK. And so anyway, over there he picked up a few language tidbits, and when we're working glass, he'll tell us to turn it clockwise and to turn it anti-clockwise. And it all needs to get really, really hot for that to take effect. So he'll stay in there heating it up for a while. And dance, Foster, dance. Yeah, he's the man. Okay. Now he's back to the marver, and you'll notice he has the part of the glass that's close to the pipe, what we call the moil. By pushing down on that, he stretches glass off of the pipe. Now he's getting the symmetry to it, and now he'll just blow it out some. Get the air bubble expanding in there, and then he'll be able to finish up his design work. Beautiful. If you'd like to have any of the pieces you've seen made today, you can order them online. You can go through Facebook, use Facebook Messenger. You can go to our website, artofire.com. Shake Your Glass Maker. That's a good one, David. And we can accept your orders over the phone at 301-253-6642. You can also email us. That information's on the website. Also on the website's a full catalog. We've got an awful lot. Well, if you've seen any of the shots around the studio, you know we've got a lot of glass in here. So now, he's going to start his jack line. It's always a shame to get toward the end of the first part of the piece and realize you haven't put a jack line in. Then it's really hard to correct.
That's what happened with that first
Oh, it
piece.
does happen. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's what we call basically like a fishnet design, Bridget, the twisting of those lines. And that's a perfect example of it. Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate that. Thanks for the compliment. You're getting compliments, Foster. I'm not going to tell you all of them because I don't want it going to your head before we're done. You can watch the comments after the show. I'm teasing. She said it was such a pleasure to watch the artistry come to life. And I got to agree, it really is slick. Now he's putting the heat into that. He needs to finish off the bottom half of this piece before we can transfer it. So by rolling it on the marver like that, he's cooled that little cone. Now, if you watch the inflation, you'll see that the cone remains. That tip is still down there in the same shape, and it didn't expand because he cooled it on the steel table, the marver. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that. You notice him glance back over to the bench. It is a different bench for him, so he needs to make sure where the tools are before he comes back over here. And he knew exactly where the jacks were, so he's got them. Almost all of the pieces we make are created by making a sphere with a jack line in it. And you can see that he's got the sphere and the jack line. Then what we do from that point is manipulate that sphere. And he'll use a combination of gravity and centrifugal force to elongate this into the shape of a vase. Now he's heating, it's kind of hard to tell the exact depth, but he's not heating that neckline very much. Most of what's getting hot is the largest part of that ball, so that when he comes out and starts to hang and swing that, that's what will elongate. And it takes a lot of years of practice to get that just right. Almost all of us in the early stages, see how the lower half is the orange color, the upper half is the darker color. And that's where the heat is, and that's where the stretch comes. A little more?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to go for a little more. So he probably won't heat to exactly the same spot, but he doesn't want the drop just to take place in the last 2 inches. So look how much of that is orange, almost up to the shoulder. And notice he took his time on the swing at the beginning. He didn't get all aggressive and spin it around like a propeller blade because he didn't want it to run out too fast. The newspaper cools portions of the glass, and now when he blows, that won't inflate as much. And now he's got a nice symmetrical shape there, a beautiful straight line. And what's interesting is, I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it, but one of the way glass blowers can tell if their piece is really straight is to look at the reflection of a bank of fluorescent light bulbs in it. And if the light bulbs look like they're bending, you don't have it straight. And if the light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, look like they're in a pretty straight line, you've got it. So I don't want to put Foster on the spot, but let's watch the light bulbs. And I would say there's one right up at the top. Yes, sir. Now down at the bottom, he's doing an interesting treatment here. He calls this a ring bottom. No, you're not going to do the ring? Okay. He's establishing the sides there using the jacks.
Let me do that once more.
So we appreciate all of you hanging with us today. We're having a good time doing this. I think you're having a pretty good time there, aren't you, Foster?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Any day you're in the studio making glass is a good day, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see where the heat's concentrated. The jacks are on the side to keep it straight, also to stabilize it, so that when he goes and presses the bottom flat, it doesn't distort the sides. A little bit of newspaper can be used to shape it, and you'll get his little dimple in the bottom, the indentation for where the punty goes. And there's just a beautiful vase shape right there with the fishnet pattern. There'll be a couple of flashes on it. And then punty time. So, like every other vessel, we make the bottom half to 2/3 first, then a transfer to the putty. I'm going to have to get over here out of his way. Yes, Bridget, the lines from the mold have been smoothed out now. When the turning and twisting took place, they were part of that process, and they have all smoothed out. So there's no real texture to the finish. How are the cats? Cats are doing fine. Thanks for asking. All right, here we go. Foster's going to lay the piece up here. Attach the punty. Then roll the iron so that he can see if he's got the putty centered. If the putty is off center, then when the piece is rotated later on, it's kind of like watching a camshaft. It's completely uneven. A little bit of water on the neck, and then a tap to take it off. Actually, for anybody that did read the last comment, Todd was not feeling well today, but he's on his way to recovery, and he'll be feeling better tomorrow. So we're looking forward to having him back in. Do you want to do a handkerchief ruffle on the top?
I can.
Somebody just, Michelle Kinser said,
Yeah.
How about a handkerchief ruffle on top? Okay.
Got it.
All right. So he's going to have to open it up a little bit and play with it some. But yes, Michelle, we'll do that. And Josh had an unforeseen circumstance that kept him away today. But hey, it's 20 minutes till 1. We've hung in here pretty well, buddy.
Yeah, good. Maybe we'll finish off with an ornament or two.
There we go. We'll make something. All righty. So, what Foster will do first in order to give this handkerchief ruffle top is to open it up some and then get the glass that is going to ruffle really, really hot. So I believe the Italian name for that technique is fazzoletto, which basically means handkerchief drop. And the appearance of the glass at the top of the vessel is supposed to be something like what you would get if you were, say, holding a cloth napkin or something above a table and dropped it on the table, kind of a peak and then ruffles all around it. So Jill says she's enjoying the communal design process. Great. We're enjoying it too. Some things we can do and accommodate, and some things maybe not. But this one's pretty easy. Foster's got a little bit more work to do on the top. He'll open that up to just about straight on the lip. But if you take a good look, I'll try to get in here with the camera, you can see that the ring at the top of the piece is really, really hot. It was much brighter than the 2 to 3 inches adjacent to it. And now he's giving it almost a straight side. And this whole area that appears orangish right now is what he's going to heat the living daylights out of in just a few moments and spin it out. Want a door? There we go. There's the pattern. Will you want either of those others? Be all right. Okay. So I'm just checking to see if he's going to need another door when he comes out. Sometimes if the end of the vessel flares out too much, we need to open all the doors. So now he's heating it to get the end of that hot. He'll alter his speed. He'll go a little bit fast to see if it flares. Then he'll slow down to keep it centered. Then he'll speed up again. And then at the very end, when he knows he's got the heat enough to really flare it out, he'll begin spinning it like crazy, and it'll flare out like a really big top hat. Then he'll bring it out here in front of us, angle it downward. There we go, we're getting the flare. Here's the speed. He sees the size of the door opening. Out he comes, spins it out, and now down. And the slower he spins, the more it falls. If he spins fast, it'll flare out again. And there you go. All right. Bring it up, buddy. There we go. And there is a beautiful fazzoletto, handkerchief drop. All right, wonderful. Let's hear it for Foster. That was really cool. Now the thing about those is the drop is almost always random. It's not like you can control it. Sometimes we get 6 or 7, sometimes we get 5. We really don't have a lot of control over that.
5.
You got 5? All right. It really just depends on the heat that's used and the thickness of the glass. If the glass is too thick, it won't ruffle at all. So he's cooled the area around the putty so it'll break free, a tap with a hammer handle, and now he's got this beautiful vase done. Yeah, don't do that. No. Situational awareness. All right, there we go. And into the annealer. Let's hear it for Foster. Does Foster do an odd or even number of ruffles? Well, so far today he's done 1, so I'd say that's an odd number. I'm teasing, Bill. I'm teasing. We don't really have complete control over that. You can control it or adapt it a little bit if you blow in the optic mold before you've ever done that. Because what happens with the optic mold is sometimes it'll create thick and thin ridges in the glass so that you get closer to the number of indentations that you had from the optic mold. So, once again, for those of you that may have joined us late, I'll show you the things you're not going to get to see today, or didn't get to see. We're missing Josh and Todd today. Todd was under the weather. He'll be back. and Josh had something come up and couldn't make it in today, but we're carrying on nonetheless. And if you saw the boo-boo mugs we had a few weeks ago, those were efforts by me and Foster to put ghost faces on mugs, and they really came out kind of funky. And you can well imagine that to get these snowmen done really well takes a steady hand and a lot of skill. So hopefully we'll have everybody on board next week and we can show you some of those. Here's our snow bunny with a scarf, and we've got several different designs of trees, decorated trees. We're also doing something brand new, a gingerbread man face. So a lot of these require skill with the torch and drawing on the glass, and so we're going to leave that to the guys that do it better. But that's what you would have seen. The icicle, yeah, let me talk about the icicle, because that's our giveaway this week. So those of you that have stuck with us and been here for the whole thing and been commenting, your name gets entered in a drawing and you'll win an icicle next week. So we really appreciate that. Let's see, and this comments, share, I forgot to tell you, if you share the videos, well, maybe not this one, go ahead and share this one, we're having fun. But a lot of the stuff is really people around have not seen this sort of thing before. So by sharing, we increase our viewership. It really helps us. Those are some twisted cane ornaments there on the top. We also have the filigrana. We can do it with multiple colors or with single colors. That one happens to be red. We've got the diamond optic patterns here. We've got ornaments that we've started doing called snowballs. And is that what's going to be next, Foster? The snowball?
Yeah,
okay. So this one is kind of
try.
New this year. Okay.
Yeah, we'll give it the old college try.
Okay, we're going to give it the old college try. He hasn't done this one before, but basically it's got a color in the central part. In that case, if this one is red, here's one that's green, and then it's covered with one layer of very fine frit. Then it's blown in the optic mold and it's crackled by plunging it into cold water. And then when you blow it out, as the surface white stretches apart, the red or green lines appear. So that's what Foster's going to give you now. We have a whole group of ornaments here also for sale. Some of them you'll find like in the catalog, some of them are one of a kind. Number one there, the twisted cane ornament. We have lots of those, and those are displayed online. But some of them, like this number 4 over here, are like one of a kind. And because of the way the surface reacts when the piece is made, we can't guarantee the exact same color every time. Okay? We have twisted frit here. Nice colorful pattern over white. We have a diamond optic here, red, white, and green, nice holiday colors. And we've got another one over here with the red and the green. So if there's any of these you want, before we sign off today, I'll go kind of slowly through them and you can order one of these. You also can order anything online that we make, so just check us out at artoffire.com. Call us at 301-253-6642, and we'll be glad to accommodate you. So let's go on down here and see what Foster's up to. Yes, Alicia, number 4 and number 8 are really beautiful. In fact, I'm going to go back and highlight those again in case somebody's really interested. And we appreciate it if you're just telling us that 4 and 8 are beautiful, but just in case anybody's interested and might want to place an order, actually number 4 garnered a lot of attention last week, and we've had several people order that ornament since then. So that one is already spoken for, but we've left it up on display. Number 8 here is a twisted frit. It's got kind of a multicolor effect to it. We've also had those where we do them with holiday colors like red and green. Number 5 over here is the same effect as number 4. The color came out different. Alrighty, so what color are you going to start with, Foster?
We're going to do red.
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 So, remember all the red we dropped on the floor?
Yes.
Some of it's in the annealer now. And Foster's going to pick it up. Oh, he's going to use that.
Do the
Okay.
powder bread.
Okay. He's going to use the frit that we had out here. And you got the white out. Yep. So he's ready to roll. So it'll be a gather from the furnace. And he's got all his tools set up. Let me check this out. Yep. All he needs. Lots of red today. Yes, there is, Bridget. We like red.
That's because we're red hot.
We're red hot. There you go. We the red hot chili peppers? The red hot old peppers? Okay. So we'll get his red coating on here. Then he'll be doing his white. And then we'll go for a crackle. Alrighty, gets the air going in it. And let's see, I know it's been coming up on almost 2 hours, but there was someone earlier that told us she had her class of students watching. Are you still out there? All right, so now he needs to get a layer of white on that. Oh, Catherine Thomas said her cat and dog decided to curl up on her and watch also. Well, hey, we like viewers with 2 or 4 legs. It doesn't matter. Maybe next week we'll make a mouse if everybody's got cats watching. Or we'll make a catnip tree. So he's got getting the white on there. He's going to roll that. And he's got to get it shaped so it'll go in the optic mold. As I said a little while ago, when you blow in the optic mold, it creates some thicker and thinner areas of glass. And that's what allows those lines of color to come through. It'll come through in the thin areas, but not so much in the thick. So there's our lines. It needs to get this pretty hot because
Get it hot before you go in
get
the
it
water.
hot and then drop it in there, and then he's able to blow it out a little bit. And he may have to actually do it a couple of times. Then he'll go right back in the heat, get a little air in it. Yeah, there we go. And then he's going to start to blow that out. So it's a little reluctant to blow out right now, so we may have to put a whole lot of heat into it, but he'll still get the lines in it. But if the heat dissipates from that core, then it becomes a little bit tougher to blow it out. Foster's got his blow hose now. He's going to get that hooked up to the pipe. The jack line is starting to expand, and you're starting to see those red lines coming through, and they're basically spreading apart the white. So he'll take another heat on that and let that crackle spread the white apart a little bit more. So we're making these now, and there you go, he's spreading it out. He's got the blow hose, and you can see those lines coming, and this is what we're now putting out as the snowball ornaments. There we go, way to go, nice job. And you can see those red lines in between the white stripes. The white stripes stay there because of the thickness of the glass there from being in the optic mold, where the red spreading things apart, the glass was just a little bit thinner. Now he'll come on over and he'll chill the glass. He's not cutting it. He's going to squeeze that line so he'll move around the piece a little bit. When he taps the pipe, it will actually break free. Pipe comes off, and now he's ready to form his hook. Just a little dab of glass. Thank you, Lindsay. We're glad you enjoyed making ornaments here. Glad to hear it. Okay, and here he comes with the glass to the hook. He'll place that and then pull it up slowly, then thin it out a little bit and cut it off. Then after it's cut free, grab his tweezers and form a hook. You can see the glass moves rather quickly. So he curls that over. I'm going to take this iron out of his way. He's made his hook, rounds it out a little bit with a tweezer blade. And now he'll put on a glove and grab the little tool here with a hook to pick it up. He'll hold it right in front of the camera, and there is one of the snowball ornaments. Great job, thank you. Thank you, Foster. Put this pipe away, and into the annealer it goes.
And 1 o'clock it is.
And 1 o'clock, how about that? Great job, man. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And we're glad you all joined us. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you back next week and everybody back in the studio. Hopefully Todd will be healthy again, and Josh will get over his immediate situation that happened today. We'll look to see him back in the studio the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week. We hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, small, but with your family and friends, and you didn't eat too much turkey. Thanks again.
Don't go anywhere. Please don't go anywhere, because I got one more announcement here. This coming weekend is the Countryside Artisans Tour. We had one of these in October. There's another one coming up this weekend. Same rules will be in effect. Must wear masks. We have sanitizing stations, social distancing. We had absolutely no issues the last time we did this. That was back in October. So this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, let's see, what would that be? The 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Anyway, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we'll be here. I'll be doing some demonstrations during the day. Foster will be hobnobbing with anybody that chooses to visit, as will Theta. Hope you can come out, maybe buy some glass, but if nothing else, come by and say hi. We've really enjoyed having you. So thanks a lot for bearing with us today, and with a full force staff next week, we'll make you some snowmen and snow bunnies and trees and gingerbread faces. So this is Bruce from The Art of Fire saying have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.